All right, so this is the studio at Owl's Roost. It's kind of doing a little refresher on this guy. I haven't thought about this dude in a couple years now. So notice that the siding goes up 2.5 feet, and then it changes. And you can see this on the inside, which is interesting. Make sure I don't fall on here. So the windows are vinyl. They're painted vinyl, which is not the end of the world. And that probably is fine. I'd probably replace them because they're cheap. Make sure I don't fall in the pond here. So then the whole thing sits on the slab, which is kind of interesting. And because it's wintertime, we're able to see underneath here. So that the slab in the front's kind of floating, which is interesting. But it looks like there's cinder block or concrete masonry units underneath. But you can see that crack. So that's a little troubling. So who knows? Who knows what's underneath this guy? It's really hard to tell. But again, you can see that siding change about 2.5 feet up. And so maybe some of the original siding is redeemable. Maybe you could wrap the outside with metal, something like this. Some sort of idea like that. You know, the roof, it's okay. It's not attached at a frequency that's probably recommended. It's probably a little too far between the screws, but I don't know. This is really cheap roofing, so I'd probably just replace it anyway. Then coming inside, so I'm assuming that this building was shorter, or rotten on the bottom or something like that, and they came in and lifted the building up, maybe, because you can see the posts stop about 2.5 feet up. See that corner post is up off the floor. So then you start kind of looking at the walls. I'm not quite sure what the composition of the original wall is. You can see 2x4 framing on the bottom, and how deep that is front to back. But above that, I don't quite know what that composition is. I'm gonna guess that you can see a little bit here. That's probably a vertical 2x4, sort of on edge. And then there's another vertical 2x4 at the top. I don't know if there's any vertical 2x4s that connect the two 2x4s you can see. So I think there's probably just like one by sheathing. Maybe that's run vertical, and then the siding is nailed into the 1xs. So I'm pretty sure the wall is only 3/4 thick, maybe an inch thick. It's hard to tell. I don't think there's a whole hell of a lot there, though. So that's an interesting thing. I don't know if that is a complete deterrent to using the building, but tearing this thing down is going to take all of like 5 minutes. And I don't really know the condition of the foundation, but let's just assume we want to keep it. Let's play on that assumption for a second. We'd probably have to build a wall on the inside and then hang that outer wall, attach that outer wall to the inside wall somehow. which I don't know how to do. We could probably come in and spray foam it and rely on the spray foam to kind of suck it together. Or maybe we could put some big through bolts through the whole thing and kind of suck it to the new siding. Or maybe screw it all together from the outside in. That'd be all right, probably. And then maybe put metal on the outside, something that kind of helps. I don't know, there's not a whole hell of a lot here. But, I mean, it's doable, whatever. It's probably not worth it. In this case, there isn't even a compression ridge. It's just the rafters butted up to each other. So we have to fix that somehow, which is, again, not the end of the world. But I don't know. You can probably fix the walls and probably fix the siding. I'm not sure what it really looks like to frame that guy up. But yeah, we can figure it out. The foundation's the thing I just don't know. It does look like the slab's pretty good. I don't see any major cracks, so that's encouraging. I guess there's got one there. And the corner's cracked off, but I kind of think this part that's near the pond is just floating out there. I don't think it has a whole lot of structure. Let's see if I can do a shot on this side. So maybe we could dig around the perimeter, pour a thickened edge, pin it all together, and kind of make it work. It's kind of weird. Like, it's the same thing as Owl's Roost, where they just poured a slab and then built a house on top of it. And there's not a whole lot of a water condition. I don't know if you remember that on Owl's Roost, where we sort of solved it. Well, we did solve it, but it was a little bit of a trick because you got to direct the water away. So we had to put like a piece of metal flashing on Owl's Roost and then bed that in caulking really well so that water could never go back toward the building. It's possible, you know. It's kind of like stepping over $1 to pick up a dime, but you know, maybe there's some advantage that I'm not thinking about. But the nice thing is it's small, so we can absorb lateral forces pretty easily. And if we want to put a garage over there, we have to kind of look at what that looks like. And maybe there's like a little garage here with a gap in between, so that you could kind of hide the door going in each way, and tuck a garage over there. We have to pull tape and see how close that fence is. I don't know if that, you have to tell me if that fence is your property. Maybe we jog the fence just a little bit. Or maybe it's a one-car garage and that'd probably fit. Maybe a wider one-car garage. I really like the light on the outside. That's super cool. That looks great. I'll end on that positive note.